Welcome to Tom's True Crime. In today's episode, we delve into a chilling tale of betrayal and murder set in Kenton, Ohio. On August 5, 2005, police receive a 911 call from a woman who is worried about her sister, 41-year-old Alana Hursky. Kenton is a small city located in Hardin County, known for its tight-knit community. The city's quaint downtown area features a variety of local shops, restaurants, and historic buildings that contribute to its nostalgic charm. Kenton has several community events throughout the year, including fairs and local festivals, which foster a strong sense of community and bring residents together. Surrounding Kenton are picturesque rural landscapes that include farmland. It also serves as a hub for the surrounding rural areas. 41-year-old Alana Hursky had not shown up for work and is not answering any calls. Alana was a nurse at Hardin Memorial Hospital. A diligent and responsible person, it was very unusual for her not to show up for work. Her sister says Alana has joint custody of a 5-year-old son, but she unexpectedly missed a custody exchange that day. She failed to pick up her son from her ex-husband's residence. From the information that the police were receiving, this was totally out of character for Alana. Her sister was very concerned that something bad had happened to Alana. The caller gives the address of the home Alana shares with her 17-year-old daughter, Peyton. Police respond to the address and note that a van registered to Alana Hursky is parked outside. The front door of the apartment is unlocked. Police's initial entry into the house was to determine that nobody was hurt, injured, unconscious. The place is eerily quiet. Peyton and Alana were both gone. There was no forced entry, no signs of struggle, no damage that would lead police to assume that there was any foul play. They were looking for any kind of unusual signs, unusual activity, missing items, just trying to piece together what may have happened. Then the patrol deputy spots something that could mean trouble. Alana was born on May 1, 1964, in Bellefontaine, Ohio. She had one brother and 4 sisters. She was very close with her sisters. Alana was a nurturer, always caring for those around her. Everybody said she was a wonderful person. Her compassionate spirit led her to pursue a career in nursing. When Alana met fellow Bellefontaine native Kenton Cushway, an aspiring minister, the two quickly fell in love and married. Soon the couple had a little girl, Peyton Elizabeth Cushway. Peyton was born March 22, 1988. Alana was over the moon. Over the next 2 years, the couple drifted apart and they divorced amicably in 1991. They agreed to share joint custody of Peyton. 5 years later, Alana got a second chance at happiness when she married Samuel Hursky. Peyton didn't always agree with her stepfather. Samuel was a deputy for the Bellefontaine County Sheriff's Department. Being a cop, he was very stern on Peyton. In 2000, Alana and Samuel welcomed a son into the world. By then, Peyton was nearly a teenager. Peyton adored her little brother, but as much as she loved her little brother, she would tell people all the time that her mom loves him more than her. Alana reassured Peyton that she loved both of them equally. But then Alana and Samuel's relationship took a turn, and before Peyton entered high school, the couple filed for divorce. Alana and her children moved to a small 2-bedroom apartment in Kenton. Alana was a single working mother again. Alana was a nurse on the maternity floor at Hardin Memorial Hospital. She probably delivered thousands of babies. She had a huge impact on a lot of people's lives. Alana was also an active member of the First Baptist Church of Kenton. Alana was quite involved, and she had support of the patrons of First Baptist. Peyton went to a couple of youth groups at the church. Peyton's dad, Michael, was a Methodist minister at another church. At her last school, Peyton was known as the preacher's daughter, so when she entered high school in her new hometown of Kenton, she decided to rebel. Freshman year in high school, she had transferred, and she had a group of friends who were emos and goths. Peyton, who had struggled with feeling loved, finally found a group she connected with. Peyton and her friends would go out, drive around blasting music along the backcountry roads, and speeding, typical teenager stuff. They thought they were the coolest kids on the block. Despite the teen rebellion, Alana loved Peyton unconditionally. She loved her mom, but there was tension there. She didn't have the same mother-daughter relationship that most mothers have with their daughters, but they had their good moments. Alana was trying very hard, working lots of hours, taking care of a 5-year-old, trying to deal with Peyton and keeping her in line. It wasn't easy for Alana, but she loved her kids and she had her faith. But in August 2005, both Alana and Peyton vanished from their home. From the police's point of view, Any person has the right to disappear if they want to and not be contacted if they don't want to. They have done investigations like that before where people have walked away and police made contact with them and they've said, "I'm all right, I just want some time by myself. I don't want family to contact me." But police never assume that everything's okay. They want to investigate until they know the person is okay. While searching the apartment, police note every detail, not knowing what might become relevant. There were some cigarette butts in a glass in the living room. The cigarette butts seemed to stand out in the otherwise neatly kept home. Investigators check in with the original 911 caller. Alana's sister pointed out that Alana hated cigarette smoke. She hated smoking, and she would not allow cigarettes in her apartment. Police did not have firm evidence of foul play, and without a search warrant, investigators cannot process the apartment. Police put out an ATL, an attempt to locate with Alana Hursky's description. The daughter was missing, mother was missing. Police were concerned that there's more to this than just a missing persons case. Everything's not right. Police talked to hospitals, other departments, and questioned neighbors. An officer went out and tried to get information from neighbors if they heard anything during the time period, Thursday night to Friday morning. One gentleman said that he heard something going on in the hallway or in the apartment below. They heard scuffling, yelling, and they thought it was just a domestic fight. Now, detectives worry that something sinister happened inside the apartment. As an Ohio summer heats up, relatives are worried about 41-year-old Alana Hursky and her 17-year-old daughter Peyton. The call came out as a welfare check, but responding investigators found some alarming signs, including missing credit cards and cash. It's not unusual for neighbors in small towns not to report sound of struggle because they don't want to cause trouble for anyone or report something that's not necessary. Kenton police asked surrounding agencies to be on the lookout for Alana and Peyton, and Kenton deputies keep a watch on the home, checked in a residence a few times during the night looking for any kind of movement if anyone has come back, but did not observe any. Police were still interviewing people, friends, relatives, and trying to identify the last persons to have seen Alana and Peyton. The next morning, Alana's ex-husband, Samuel Hursky, contacts Kenton police. He was a law enforcement officer at that time, and he called police with concerns. Samuel confirms that Alana was supposed to pick up their 5-year-old son from his house the previous day, but she never showed up. From what police had been told, that's not normal behavior. Samuel tells police that he's very worried. Alana and Samuel were friends even though they were no longer together. Samuel gave police Alana's phone number to try to contact her. He was very helpful in the investigation. Police did not consider Samuel a suspect in the crime. Next, police questioned Michael Cushway, Alana's first husband and Peyton's father. Michael says he doesn't know where Alana or Peyton is. The worried father agrees to file an official missing persons report for his missing teen daughter, but without more evidence or a witness coming forward, there's little more police can do. Then, less than 24 hours after the initial 911 call that first sent police to Alana's apartment, investigators receive another call from one of Alana's neighbors who say they just witnessed a new development in the case. Moments earlier, some neighbors had observed a few individuals taking out trash to the dumpster. According to the neighbor, they also saw these people loading boxes into Alana's van. They described the female as dark hair and heavy, and man that was with her as thin-built. Neighbors reported the taking of a vehicle belonging to Alana. Patrol deputies rushed back to the apartment to investigate the new lead. Police gained entry to the apartment by a family member and found that the house had been cleaned. The cigarette butts were gone. Her purse and the keys to the vehicle were all gone. Somebody had come back to get rid of evidence. At that point, police realized this is serious, likely a kidnapping, abduction type situation. Investigators update the Bolo alert to include Alana's van as well as Peyton's vehicle. The new witness statements also allow authorities to subpoena Alana's cell phone and financial records. Police were able to contact the phone company, and they were able to provide a detailed record of times and places that the phone had been used during the relevant period of time. There was nothing. There hadn't been any activity. Alana's cell phone use was steady before she was reported missing. Then it stopped abruptly on August 4th. Police decided to get a hold of her bank and see what transactions had occurred on her account in the last 24 hours. Even though it was a Saturday, the bank manager got the records for the police. They found some ATM withdrawals. According to the bank records, someone withdrew money from a teacher's credit union in Kenton. The transaction was made shortly after 10 p.m. on August 4th, one day before Alana was reported missing. Alana's records reveal another ominous fact. She almost never took money out of ATMs. First thing you think is she's been kidnapped and being forced to withdraw money from ATMs. A lot of ATMs have surveillance, so it's easy to find out if she's withdrawing her own money or if somebody else is withdrawing the money. Unfortunately, getting the surveillance video will take time. This happened on a Saturday, and police were doing all this on a Saturday when things were closed, so police were trying to get some information compiled and brought together to try to find other ways of finding her. Bank records also show another suspicious transaction. On the day Alana was reported missing, police were able to determine that a check had been cashed from her TCU account in the amount of $800. The check was made out for vehicle repair, and that check had been made payable to Chase Mannix. After Alana Hursky and her teenage daughter Peyton were reported missing, Kenton, Ohio police traced a check cashed on Alana's account to a man named Chase Mannix. Police went looking for Chase Mannix to ask him questions about how he came into this money. Police had dealt with Chase Mannix before over minor issues. They located Chase in a friend's house and brought him in for questioning. On August 7, 2005, at the Kenton Police Department, investigators questioned the 17-year-old. Chase Mannix explains that he knows Peyton through church and school. He insists he knows nothing about the disappearance of Alana or Peyton. Chase claims he didn't even know they were missing. He explains the check by saying that he and his friend Caleb recently did some transmission work on Alana's van. Authorities don't buy it. They knew Chase Mannix was not a licensed mechanic. Alana Hursky would not pay him to work on her van's transmission. Police found that highly suspicious. Investigators asked Chase to provide contact information for his friend Caleb. Moving quickly in hopes of finding the mother and daughter before it's too late, police tracked down and interviewed Caleb within 20 minutes. His mom was there and Caleb was very nervous. Caleb was Chase's alibi. When police interviewed Caleb, he said Chase was definitely not with him. Investigators pressed him for more. He thought harm was going to come to him by talking to police and telling them the truth. What is the truth that Caleb is so afraid to tell? His mom encouraged him to tell police what happened for the benefit of Alana and to find out if she's safe or not. That's when Caleb told police what he had heard. Caleb claims that Chase asked him to lie about receiving the $800 for automotive work. He adds that Chase told him about a crime, one involving Alana's daughter, Peyton, and Peyton's boyfriend, 18-year-old Dylan Thodas. Police know Dylan from previous run-ins. He's a typical goth, the way he dressed, the long black trench coat, and numerous facial piercings and studs. He walks around town trying to shock and intimidate people. Dylan Thodas has a very evil look. Peyton had met Dylan a few months earlier, and Alana Hursky had real concerns about Dylan. Alana and Peyton's arguments had largely centered on Peyton's relationship with Dylan Thodas. Peyton changed once she met Dylan, and everybody knew it. She became withdrawn and stopped seeing her friends. Alana was concerned that Peyton was dating a guy that was a couple years older than her, and she felt he was steering her down the wrong path. She just had a bad feeling about the guy. Did not like him, didn't like his attitude towards Peyton. Alana didn't want Peyton to be with Dylan. She had forbade them from seeing each other, but they got closer than ever. Caleb claims that this is why Alana Hursky has disappeared. Finally, Caleb reveals to police what Chase allegedly told him. He said that Chase and Dylan and Peyton had taken Alana against her will out into the woods and shot her. Police were stunned. Police had thought they were dealing with kids forcing Alana to give them money. Now they are dealing with a murder. As Kenton authorities question Caleb, police in the nearby town of Ada are helping with the search for Alana and Peyton. Kenton gave them a description of the vehicles and plate numbers to look for. That evening, Ada officers make a crucial discovery in the parking lot of a motel. When police drove in there, they saw both vehicles immediately. Time is of the essence. Ada police put officers at the exits and entrance of the motel and then went inside to the front desk. They ask if Dylan Thodas had registered there. The motel clerk tells police that Dylan Thodas is registered. The clerk doesn't know who might be in his room with him. It has been 2 days since anyone has seen Alana Hursky. Police were hoping she's in there and still alive, but you just never know what's behind the door. 2 days after Alana Hursky and her daughter Peyton Cushway were reported missing, investigators believe they have tracked Peyton's boyfriend, 18-year-old Dylan Thodas, to a motel in Ada, Ohio. Ada police suspect Dylan might be armed, so they entered unannounced and quickly to catch them off guard. The officers find 2 people inside, both laying in bed. Officers quickly identified the two as Dylan Thodas and Peyton Cushway. Peyton or Dylan didn't say a word, didn't ask why police were there, didn't ask why they were being handcuffed. Nothing. Authorities transport the suspects to the Ada Police Department for questioning. 15 miles away in Kenton, investigators seek to re-interview Chase Mannix, but before they find Chase, his conscience gets the better of him. Chase had called police at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday and asked them to go to his house. When police got there, Chase Mannix was crying. He said Dylan killed somebody, killed a lady. Police takes Chase into custody and transports him to the Ada Police Department where Peyton Cushway and Dylan Thodas are being held. Now that Chase knew the other two were in custody, he came clean and told more of the truth. Chase was more of a follower. He was a loner, somebody that wanted to be a part of something and be with people. Chase, he had a good childhood, he had a good family, but as he progressed through elementary school, he started falling behind and he struggled. He had come home after school and he would be sad and cry because the kids said he was stupid. He wanted so much to be accepted. He wanted to have friends. When he was accepted by Dylan, people like Dylan, they prey on people like Chase. Chase tells investigators that Peyton told him she was having problems with her mother, and Peyton was ready to end those problems. Chase said that Peyton had planned to have her mom killed. They had come over to Chase's house prior to going to get Alana Hursky, and they were smoking marijuana with Chase, and they kept asking Chase to go with him. There was a plan to secure a gun, and Chase Mannix was able to secure a gun from someone he knew. They were telling Chase Alana's got a lot of money. Chase went for money. That's his weak spot. Chase was thinking he was going there to get money. Chase tells police that the three of them had drove to Alana's apartment, and Peyton came up with a way to get inside without a struggle. Peyton Cushway knocked on the door so that her mother would not be suspicious. Alana answers the door for Peyton. Dylan and Chase, who had been hiding near the door, pounced, jumped on Alana. Dylan tied her up with duct tape, taped her mouth. While they're doing that, Chase is going through the house to find money. They took her debit card. Chase and Dylan forced Alana into her van. Peyton stayed behind. Her purpose in staying behind was so that neighbors wouldn't be alerted. They were concerned that someone might have heard or may come looking for her. According to Chase, the men followed Peyton's plan to get cash from Alana. They went to various ATMs to access her account to get money. Chase claims that Dylan then began driving as if he was looking for a specific place. Dylan drives around, Chase said, quite a while, and finally they go to Indian Lake State Park. According to Chase, Dylan parked the van, pulled Alana out. She was wondering where she was. She was begging and pleading with Dylan, asking where she was. Chase says that Dylan began walking Alana into the woods. Chase started to walk in but got a bad feeling, so he went back to the van and waited. Chase hears a gunshot. Dylan comes back and Chase said he was growling like a wild animal, and he had blood all over his face and all over him. Investigators tell Chase he needs to take them to the site where Alana was shot. He wasn't quite sure, but he felt he could figure it out if they drove him, and so they put him in a car. Chase Mannix leads police to the location of the body of missing nurse Alana Hursky. The police officers went into the woods. As they got closer, they see a figure on the ground. She was on her back. The body will later be identified as Alana Hursky. Police interrogate Dylan Thodas, confronted with Chase's statement and the discovery of the body. Dylan confesses and finally tells investigators everything, including the parts Chase did not see. They take her into the woods. Dylan put her on her knees and Dylan was behind her. Dylan tells her he's going to kill her. Dylan wanted to torture Alana. He made her say the Lord's Prayer. Alana must have been terrified, knowing she is going to die. She shakily said the Lord's Prayer, but didn't say amen at the end, and he said, "You're not going to say amen?" And when she says amen, he fires a shot in the back of her head. He enjoyed watching her body fall to the ground and die. When the police left the interview with Dylan, they were stunned. Dylan scared them. They had no doubt Dylan is evil. The plan to murder Alana Hursky came from Peyton Cushway. Both Dylan and Chase said that Peyton was the mastermind behind the plan. Alana didn't like Dylan and didn't like them being together, so Peyton decided to solve all their problems by getting rid of her mom. So this is how they decided to get rid of Alana. Investigators confront Peyton Cushway about her role in the death of her mother. At first, she denies everything. She didn't know anything and didn't know what was going on. She was trying to play the victim. Eventually, Peyton admits she was there at the apartment, but she claims it was Dylan's idea to rob her mother, and she never thought he would kill her. Prosecutors decide to charge all three, Peyton, Dylan, and Chase, with criminal confinement, conspiracy to commit murder and murder. All three were charged with the same offense. They all initially pled not guilty. News of the arrests leaves the small community of Kenton reeling. At the arraignment, Dylan Thodas seems to enjoy the attention. He was transported from the jail to the courthouse, and the way that he came out of that car, he stuck his tongue out at onlookers and the media. He looked like the devil. Some people say it was the scariest things they have ever seen. They were shocked. In early 2006, Chase Mannix pleads guilty. Chase Mannix was given an opportunity to enter a plea to the three charges, and he gets 65 years for his participation. Even though he didn't pull the trigger, he was as responsible as the trigger puller because of his engagement in his activity. On March 10, 2006, Dylan Thodas pleads guilty to murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and criminal confinement while armed with a deadly weapon. He said that he pulled the trigger, killed Alana Hursky to please the girl he loved. On March 30, 2006, Dylan Thodas is sentenced for his crimes. At his sentencing, he said, "If you're going to give me life in prison without parole, then you might as well give me the death sentence." But the judge made the determination that it would be life without parole. In March 2006, Peyton Cushway also pleads guilty to the same charges as Dylan. She was sentenced to life without parole. Peyton's callous actions left a young boy, her little brother, heartbroken and motherless. He cries and would wake up in the middle of the night crying, "Mommy, Mommy." Neither Dylan nor Peyton showed any remorse. Alana Hursky is remembered as a devoted mother and a caring nurse. Her murder left the community reeling in shock. People were at a loss to comprehend how a daughter could commit such a heinous act against her own mother. The horror of it was simply beyond their understanding, leaving them in a state of disbelief. Alana's funeral highlighted the significant impact she had on those around her. The large turnout at her viewing and service underscored just how much she was cared for and loved. Her life as a devoted Christian and a person who dedicated herself to helping others had clearly touched many lives. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Tom's True Crime. If you are interested in more in-depth investigations into the most perplexing crimes, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. What are your thoughts about this case? Please share them with us in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe.